Hey neighbor, welcome back to another episode of 7 on Sunday right here on ARTV. My name is John, and today we're talking about some bad songs that weren't exactly well received. In fact, they're some of the most universally hated songs of the 21st century so far. I recently made a video on the topic of why do people pretend to love everything, and how it takes a lot for people's buttons to get pushed to the point where they publicly will admit that they don't like something. Listen, we're not all meant to agree on everything, and if you like any of the songs here, then that's totally fine. In fact, after talking about the songs themselves, I will actually reveal whether I have some sort of fondness for the hated song, or if it's something that I want in the trash can like the rest of the world. That's it, no more stalling. I hope you enjoy this episode. If you do, then please drop a like on it, subscribe for the love of music, and buckle up, buddy, because this one's gonna be a rough road.
I check it once, then I check it twice. Oh, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
The Reputation era could not have gotten off to a messier start, and that has everything to do with this horrid stain, Look What You Made Me Do, coming out as the lead single. Question for all you math whizzes out there, what do you get when you combine a Right Said Fred, I'm too sexy for my shirt interpolation during the chorus, along with some petty lyrics that pretty much give the haters of Taylor Swift exactly what they want? You get a train wreck, a nightmare cheerleader chant that seemingly never ends and continues to take different paths until it finally all fizzles out. Congratulations, Taylor.
You played yourself.
While the initial reaction was similar to any other massive artist dropping something new, everybody pretends to love it, kisses ass like there's no tomorrow, over time, I saw even the Swifties themselves coming to the realization that this is not one of her good songs. In fact, it's easily one of her worst. When even the most loyal of stans can admit that, I think it's safe for me to come out of hiding here and say I stand by my initial criticisms of the song. It's a fucking mess. I hated it day one. I hate it now. But the pre-chorus still works, and if she could have followed that path for the entirety of the song, she might have actually been onto something.
Water, fire, air, and dirt. Fucking magnets, how do they work? And I don't wanna talk to a scientist. Y'all motherfuckers lying.
Give me all of your ICP magnet memes. In exchange, I might just talk about their song Miracles that was everywhere in the early 2010s. So many people could not stand this. They were looking at the juggalos and the makeup, and it was such an easy target, and I don't really disagree. I'm not by any stretch of the phrase a fan of Insane Clown Posse. But what a lot of people overlooked, at least at the time of its release, is the fact that this is very memeable in nature. It's not entirely serious, yet at the same time, maybe it is, because we want to believe that these two guys are just out here getting their minds blown by extraordinary events that aren't extraordinary at all because they're everyday occurrences. As far as my thoughts on it go, it definitely gets some laughs out of me still, but I think a lot of that is nostalgia speaking, and after like a minute or so of listening, you get really sick of it, and it goes on for 5 minutes. The instrumental outro's kinda cool, there's some decent guitar work there, there's not a ton to write home about. The instrumental feels very stock, very safe, and it doesn't do much to evolve over the course of a rather lengthy runtime.
If you're down in the bathroom, can we go smoke a cigarette? I really need one. But first, let me take a selfie.
The irony of the electronic duo the Chainsmokers getting their big break off of an ironic song is not lost on me. #Selfie was a phenomenon, and not a good one at that. Instagram as a social network definitely changed our world, whether we like to admit that or not, but it was still getting baked into our culture at this time, and the Chainsmokers took this opportunity to kind of make fun of basic bitch culture. If you're familiar with this song, then you know how the story goes. They had a girl come in, lay down this kind of spoken word monologue where they cut it up. She's at one part of the night thinking, should I hook up with this guy? Should I have another drink? Let me take another selfie. It's kind of making fun of the narcissism that goes into that, but ironically, the Chainsmokers are huge narcissists themselves. People hated this thing, and not just critics either. I think there was a general hatred that I could feel every time that this would play. If I went out to a bar, if somebody put it on the jukebox, there was just a groan like, ah. A lot of people thought they were being really funny by ironically listening to it, and some people even latched on and would be like, oh, that's so me, I identify with this, and that's not the message to take away. Y'all are gonna kill me for this one, but I actually don't hate Selfie. I think this is a funny song that's definitely making fun of a lot of very basic types of people, and I also think it's one of the best drops that the Chainsmokers ever did.
Cause we all just do wanna be big rock stars and living hilltop houses driving 15 cars. The girls come easy and the drugs come cheap. Well, I'll stay skinny and we just won't eat.
Nickelback have long since been the punching bag of the industry, one of the most hated bands in the world, and although the conversation has changed a bit in recent years, I myself am on the more positive side of the fence. I get where some of the criticisms come from, and one of their cheesiest songs ever was also a top 10 hit in multiple charts all around the world. Rockstar became heavily associated with like the WWE bros who love to wrestle and drink beer and go out on the weekends in their tap-out shirts with their massive fucking cock and belt buckle, yeah! Why did I just say cock and belt buckle? I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say, though. You would look at somebody who unironically enjoyed Rockstar by Nickelback in the 2000s, and you would think to yourself, wow, this is a person I probably don't want to associate with. I get why this is such a hated song. On paper, I do. It's got like the cheesy backing vocals, the guy with the deep voice saying, I'll have a quesadilla. Like, what the hell is that? We all know that that's not something good, along with the actual lyrics of the song being so ridiculously homogenized for just the life of a rocker, women, cars, and drugs, oh my. I like this song, all my homies like Nickelback, and fun story, really quick to go off the deep end here. I was recently at my fiance's dad's house for the first time ever, and it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and I shit you not, I can't make this up, it was just so random. Somebody rolls down this little 2-lane street, and the house across from them, I hear the opening notes of, I'm through with standing in line with clubs I'll never get in. That moment was, as MasterCard would say, priceless.
Fellas, don't you let it come when you have sex. And I heard women orgasms are better than a dick's.
Can we just agree that Earth by Lil Dicky is charity gone wrong? Like, no one's out here trying to say that we shouldn't be better to the planet, that we shouldn't be kinder to each other. Well, nobody other than a certain side of the political spectrum. Shut up. We're not gonna get to that side of the conversation. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this song that was supposed to be so big, but it ended up being a massive flop that fell off of the Billboard Hot 100 after just 6 weeks, even though every celebrity and musician you could think of was attached. Let me quickly summarize the problems with this track. 1, it's something that you're supposed to watch the music video for and you can't just enjoy the song, which is always a no-no in my book. 2, even with the music video, it's sort of funny, not really one time, but after that, it's ridiculously infuriating at how lazy it can be. And 3, it's just the attempt to get eyes on something that ends up feeling so incredibly forced and cringe with a bunch of celebrities. It's kind of like the whole COVID lockdown, the celebrities sing Imagine thing. Personally, I don't like Lil Dicky. I don't think he's funny. I don't like his music. There's like 1 or 2 songs that I can kind of tolerate, like Molly with Brendan Urie, and ironically, there's only actually 2 funny parts to the song, and I think that's Brendan Urie saying,
I'm a fat fucking pig.
And also, of course, the legendary Lil Jon with, what the fuck am I clown? The rest of them, it's just cameo after cameo. Snoop Dogg's a weed plant. That's funny. 420 because he smokes a lot of weed. That's so fantastic. And Sia's a kangaroo because she's Australian. All they really did was stereotype into the ground and then say, hey, the earth is a good thing. Let's protect it. Cool. So no, I do not like this song. In fact, I hate this song and I don't want to talk about it anymore. So on to number 2.
My wrist and I piss on bitches. You can suck my dick if you take this justice. You don't like them disses. Get my ass some kisses.
If you were at all paying attention to the music community in the early 2010s, then there's no way that she didn't have at least one argument surrounding Nicki Minaj's Stupid Hoe. It almost feels pointless to even discuss this song in detail because it was designed as a diss track, intentionally dumb, the dumbest of songs that Nicki could think of, and she put it out to prove that even her dumb tracks that have no real meaning other than sort of dissing Lil Kim is something that would still chart on the Billboard Hot 100. And I guess to her credit, unfortunately for us, it somehow did. This was such a divisive song that it was pretty much like playing with radioactive waste. If you put it on and you had the aux cord in the car, then some of the friends would probably laugh hysterically or else kinda act like it's a bop, and the others, maybe they're giving you the death glare that makes you think, maybe I should drop out of this moving car, even if it's going 75 miles an hour. Stupid Hoe lives in infamy for the many colorful bars that Nicki put out, and also the hyperpop production that I think a lot of people now are trying to call futuristic and like it was ahead of its time. And I'm sorry, but if this is from the future, then I'd rather shove my face in a pile of dinosaur shit and go extinct.
I was like, baby, 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 oh, like, baby, baby.
The feeling of internalized death greets you within the first few notes of Justin Bieber's Baby, also featuring Ludacris. Whether you believe it or not, this was Justin Bieber's label's attempt at pushing him as a more mature, sophisticated artist after the release of a song like One Time. Well, I guess it did accomplish that, but then again, the bar was buried 6 feet under, so it was impossible not to clear. The prepubescent cries from Justin sound hilariously overdramatic in hindsight, and despite his many fans catching Bieber fever, the hate train pushed back even harder, with more than 12 million dislikes on YouTube, making it the most disliked music video of all time. Listeners found Bieber impossible to take seriously, and they also couldn't stand how overprocessed and cheesy his music felt. There was no real creativity behind it, and I think that people continued to push down because now I would probably compare it to what some people do to like TikToker music or something of that same equivalent. I can't stand this song, it annoys me like no other, yet somehow I still know every motherfucking word. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit shaky on the rap verse, but it wakes me up daily. No Starbucks. Hey, thank you so much for watching another episode of 7 on Sunday. Before you go, hit that like button and drop a comment down below. What are your thoughts on these universally hated songs? Do you hate them? Or maybe you're one of the defenders waving the flag in their defense? Let me know down below, and also subscribe and turn on notifications. You can see a couple of recent episodes of the show on screen now, and other than that, follow me on socials, and I'll be back soon for more on ARTV.